Okay, guys, we are checking in here from the altar space, and it's just about the final days here of the September energy that's been flowing here all month with our September in alignment. I am working on tuning into the October energies now to channel the words for the month of October. I can't wait. I love October for all of the seasonal fun. I have so many decks. I'm going to give you guys a preview because they are handy. This is just a little bit of my Halloween and Samhain and seasonal decks that we have to play with throughout October. So I'm really looking forward to digging into these. The October Sharecast has been created, and I will be sharing that and inviting you all to hop over there. We'll wrap up this September Sharecast and just start fresh there, where we will continue on with the weekly card pulls and extra little messages and popping in with all of those types of things. Also, the October Empowerment Pack is open and ready for booking. If you'd like to join me, it is definitely a super fun month to join, not to mention, like I said, eclipse season. So it's going to be all about big transformations and a lot of flashes of activity and energies coming in, that this is a wonderful month to really connect in with empowerment for you to navigate this month and quarter ahead. So remember, I have both the monthly option or the bundle where you can round out the rest of this year, October, November, December, with a bundle with me. It is a way to save and also to have 3 months of consistent connection for empowerment, guidance, and insight through this final quarter of the year. So it's a great time to really be, again, reflecting back, connecting back to all of these 9 months leading up to all of the ideas and resolutions and goals and intentions that you may have set back at the beginning of the year, and sort of making your way here to this point where you stand at a precipice of deciding, this culmination. The 9 energy numerologically brings in a culmination. Endings, which lead to new beginnings. So it's an opportunity for us to decide, make the choice. How will I experience these last 3 months of the year? What is important to me? How do I want to walk away from these 3 months as I round out the year of the Chariot? So, more to come this weekend I'll be sharing, but the October Empowerment Pack is open and ready for booking. I have some other special seasonal offers that are all listed there too. I'll put the link here and the flyer for that after our card pull. And just to show you some of the other things here, this is the energy spray that I brought in for the Empowerment Pack, working with Archangel Jophiel Beauty and Wisdom. And the really beautiful message that comes with this energy is the reminder that beauty and wisdom is to be found in both light and dark, so that no matter our choices, no matter our experiences, when we look back, even if it's not immediately apparent, when we look back, we can glean the beauty and wisdom that came through an experience, even if it was more in shadow, right? So this energy of seeking out the beauty and wisdom in all things. Then we also have the fact that this is a beautiful energy with the yellow ray for bringing in joy, lightness, and also it's wonderful for the student energy. So it's great. We set out this month talking about back to school energy, whether it's children in our lives or ourselves, a lot of people who are continuing education or taking courses, classes, things that you are learning about, that this is a beautiful energy to bring around to support you intellectually there too. So with all of this activity happening in the crown, it's a beautiful energy that I'm infusing into these messages. Now, you saw me say Fortune Friday, and that's because Fridays are usually pizza night here, but tonight we decided to get Chinese. So we have a fortune cookie that I saved, and I thought I would open it and see what comes out. And you never know, because sometimes they're really profound, sometimes they're kind of out there. So we don't know what message we're going to get from this fortune cookie. But when I pulled it out of the package, it actually cracked, but I haven't I have not pulled out our fortune. So I thought we could open this fortune cookie together, see what is coming through, and then pull some cards for our weekend. So let's see. Fortune. Okay. Real is all a vision. You have to see it for yourself. Real is all a vision. You have to see it for yourself. Okay. Any numbers? Lucky numbers: 10, 47, 51, 44, 16, and 38. Well, 44, of course, is an angel number, but also it is the number of the Queen of the Moon Oracle card that came up when we pulled the cards for the Empowerment Pack. It was the card of attraction, and quite appropriately, it was the card for the super moon. So it's a card that talks about magnetizing in, calling in the energies that we wish to have around us. So again, deciding which version of me is stepping up to the edge to make the choice. I want to make the choice from my empowered self, so that's a beautiful energy. And I would say with this fortune, again, real is the vision, right? It's all a vision. It's all illusory. It's all it's just out there in the ethers. Once you experience something for yourself, you then create your own version of what is real, what is true to you, and that it's crazy because if I had all the cards up right now, again, you can see it a couple of polos over when I shared the altar here. The first card was truth, which was actually the judgment card. And it was really showing it from a position of seeing big picture, of stepping into our most authentic self, our real self, coming through perhaps a place that had been previously bound by judgment, criticism, guilt, blame, shame. And it looks at the ways that we may have been judging or criticizing ourselves or others, or how we have felt judged or criticized by others, and, kind of transcending that. Card 20, judgment, the card that was called truth, also is the second to last card of the major arcana, meaning it's almost to fruition, almost to culmination, almost at the end. And at the end, there is a new beginning. So it's very connected here with all of this energy coming forward. There were 2 9s in the spread. I mean, there were so many breadcrumbs because 9s are just about to completion and fruition as well. And so when you have 5 cards, when there's 78 cards in the tarot and you're only pulling 5 and 3 of them all say endings to new beginnings, and one of them is the same exact card that came up just a couple days ago, also in the full moon collective energy, you pay attention. Those are the little breadcrumbs that we see. So real is all a vision. You have to see it for yourself through your experiences, through your lens, right? So let's shuffle up. This is the wisdom of the oracle. I'm going to pull one card to start, just setting an intention for some guidance this weekend as we wind down this month. Wrapping up October, what do we need to know collectively here? Some guidance. I see a couple cards winking at me. One card to start. Well, if that ain't the truth, between worlds. This is one of my favorite cards, actually. And there's like a version of this card in every one of the Oracle decks from Colette Baron Reid, this creator, where it's this in transition energy. It's when you no longer are where you once were, but you're not yet where perhaps you want to be or where you're headed. And also, this card has always given me the Wizard of Oz vibes, right? Because it was that stepping out of the black and white into the technicolor. And I can't tell you, the beginning of this week, I spent doing the equinox readings for several people and then transitioned into the full moon energies. And between those 2 types of readings, there were so many cards coming up that were giving me Wizard of Oz breadcrumbs. Those of you who heard your reading know what I'm talking about. I mean, whether it was the fact that this anatomical heart kept coming forward in messages that I was getting and messages that other people that I tune into online were getting, these messages about artificial heart energy versus, true heart-centered consciousness. And, it hit me when somebody got the Scarecrow card, and it was right after a card that had, like this yellow brick road. Basically, it was a path, but it was yellow, and it was leading to a city that, the Scarecrow, the lion, oh yeah, that was on the cards too. People were getting the strength card and the lion energy and stepping into their power. And then the heart, which was, of course, the Tin Man. So there was all this energy about Wizard of Oz vibes and the overarching messages that we can glean from that story, but also bringing it down into each of our lives, this idea of finding our way home, but being in this in-between state of maybe feeling a little dis-ease, feeling a little bit out of our comfort zone, because comfort zone is just that. It's comfortable. It's familiar. It might be drab and black and white, but at least I know what I'm dealing with. It's predictable. So now I've adjusted my crown and I've taken a step. I've dipped a toe into, remember we had temperance this week on our collective spread for the week ahead energies. Temperance was how we are growing. We are finding our way in the middle, this pathway of dipping our toe into energies in moderation, in balance, in flow, with patience, and it's healing energy. So I love that this is coming up. And also the 3 is bringing through very creative energy. Again, 3 is the number of co-creation, collaboration, and it brings through just some very creative energies. And also, I think I might have to zoom in for you to see this. There's a little hummingbird. And hummingbirds to me always remind me of being present, joy, and the sweetness of life. Just sort of maybe tasting the nectar from here to there, but focusing on one at a time and being where I am, even if it is just for a moment, even if it is in passing, even if it is, just for a fleeting moment of experience that I have, knowing that on the other side, through that experience, I will glean some awareness, some perspective of what is real to me, right? Back to the fortune. What is real to me now that I have seen it, tasted it, stepped into it for myself? This energy of bringing forward what is real. So I love that connection. Let's see what else wants to come forward. We'll pull another card. I'll put this one here. Anything else we need to know here as we wrap up September and ramp up for October? Another card here bringing through collective messages for us. I get it. When we're in the in-between, and I'm sorry, I don't try to do this, okay? First I reference Wizard of Oz. Now we get Never-Ending Story. And you might know that that's another one of my favorite movies to reference. But the Never-Ending Story is the energy of, again, being perceivably stuck or held up in this place that seems to never-ending story, right? Same old, not shifting. Guess what? 3 + 7, 10. 10 is an ending. It tells us to hold on. We're almost there. Persevere. This too shall pass. Let's zoom in. I want to see if we can make out what's happening here on the this heart compass that's in there, because I think it's almost like a magic 8 ball where it has like yes, no, like different indicators here, and just sort of waiting. There's that hourglass energy, and it can be damn frustrating, right? It can feel like never-ending story or same old, which speaks to this energy. Okay, the spiral. This energy, there's a big spiral here on the altar cloth. This is the energy of the Nautilus shell. Around and around we go. right? And there has been a lot of this energy of things coming back around again, connections to things from the past. Feels like I've been here before, not my first rodeo. And when we first get there, it can feel like, are you kidding me? Like, I thought I already dealt with this in March, in April, 7 years ago. Yesterday, I had a crazy series of experiences, being a volunteer team mom. It reminded me of, I worked in an office setting for nearly 20 years, very familiar with all of the things that can happen in those settings, all the peopling and all of the managing of all the different personalities and, archetypes that occur in offices, all the things. I'm thinking of the movie Office Space right now. But, and it was so bizarre because my entire day was derailed with dealing with some ridiculous situation that was completely voluntary, that I found myself in this place I didn't want to be. It was a major headache. I was so frustrated. It felt like it just sucked the energy out of my entire day. And I was really in a low vibrational place. I was like, this feels like back in the day when I worked in an office and dealt with this kind of soul-sucking energy that I don't ever want to do again. Like, that was that part of me, that ego self that was like pushing back to that, and feeling the frustration of being in this energy that I've been in before. And yet, I was coming into it through a new lens, through a higher vantage point where I could sort of see the big picture, because it isn't my first rodeo. I have been here before, so there was this energy of familiarity, unfortunate familiarity, but it was familiar, but this card, just to kind of tap into some of the oracle messages, refers to self-criticism. Like I said, the judgment card, self-criticism, the wounded ego. When we talk about relationships and those issues that might be getting triggered for you, things that could be coming up, so many times the ego is front and center because we're bumping up against each other and everybody's ego is coming to the table. The hurt ego, the wounded inner child, aspects of us that might be unintentionally projecting onto a new situation with old wounding. That can lead to some very sticky, complicated, uncomfortable, unpleasant situations with others that actually, if we are able to step back and take a wider lens, we can see what this irritation, we'll just call it all that, put it under that category, could be coming up to show us. Unnecessary dramas. Okay, so these are key words affiliated with this card, acknowledging the idea that there is a story that's woven through the imperfect fabric of life, that it tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering born of unnecessary dramas. It's the old story whose refrain is, you cannot do this, you must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Today, know that none of this is actually true, right? The fortune says, real is all a vision. You have to see it for yourself. That storyline may not have even been yours, may have been built on a story of fear or lack or necessity because it came true to you, a version of you, it was your truth at a time, that you have transcended, that you have shed and released. You have stepped out of that world. We're not in Kansas anymore, right? We're not in Kansas anymore. So that story is just that. It's a story. There's something that we've been carrying with us and acting out over and over and over again because we don't recognize that it has hitched a ride with us. And we have an opportunity to release and let go, so that we can step into the new, lighter and free, and from this higher perspective. So it's saying, just today know that none of this is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice that you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie. It wants to protect you. and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Fear is all it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself, right? You are not your story, and the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part, small and vulnerable and easily soothed. So this is perfect energy, right? Like I said, it doesn't look overly pleasant, but it's perfect in its being that this is the time to shed and release. This is the time. It's go time now for us to peel back those layers, to see it for what it is. And that is why there is beauty and wisdom to be found in both light and dark. Even the stories and the experiences that were woven in this dark place served a purpose and bring through great beauty and wisdom. That's the message that's coming through for us with this full moon. An opportunity for us to rewrite the story. How am I going to experience these next 3 months of this year? Let's just start there, right? As we wind down this calendar year, moving through these experiences. So we'll pull one more card, because I could just keep going, but I hear my natives being restless out there. The little munchkins are rumbling out there. So we're going to pull one last card, maybe for some best advice, guidance here through the weekend before we kick off the new month and the final quarter, new moon cycle, eclipse season, spooky season, all the things. Let's get one more card. One more card for us here. Yes, like the hummingbird, be here now, here and now, right? There's the past, there's the future, and there's you are here. Like we're sticking that pin in the map. And look, we're sitting on an egg, meaning we don't know yet. The egg hasn't hatched. It's incubating, right? I'm sitting on this, but I'm open, right? Seeing those doors being open, it's like I'm open to the experiences in the here and now, knowing that they are informing the future. When I crack open this egg or this fortune cookie, I'm laughing because there's actually a card in this deck that has a fortune cookie on it, and it was just going to be so funny if that card came up. But this is an awesome card because it truly brings us into the now, into the here and now. Be here now, being present, being in a state of awareness. And where is she? At the top, from this higher perspective, not down here. And it's amazing because we even see here the line between the past and the future looking very much like between worlds. This energy of where we came from to where we are headed next. We write the story. So there's this energy just being here now. Be present in this energy. This is a 32. That's bringing in a 5 energy, and 5s can be tricky. 5s can bring chaos. They bring change always, but that change can be chaotic. There can be a bit of a clash, rebellious energy. There's this energy of freedom, expansion, but in the in-between, in the never-ending story, of course, that feels very restrictive, and we push back at that because we want to break free. By the way, that's another song that's been coming up for me this week with Freddie Mercury. Break free. I want to break free, right? So there's this energy of expansion, expanding beyond, cracking open the egg, cracking open the fortune cookie. This energy of being here now, but recognizing that the 5s serve a purpose. The chaos and the unruly energies can actually stir things up again to loosen those layers of the onion so we can peel them back and glean new awarenesses, new perspectives, and come into what is real for me. What is my truth now? And my truth now certainly isn't the same as it was back then, probably not what it will be in the future, because that's what it's all about. As we move through the wheel, as we go through this spiral, that is what expansion is on the Fool's journey. Learning, growing. It never ends. We're all students. We're all here in Earth's classroom, experiencing these lessons on our fool's journey. So our truths likely won't be and should not be perhaps what they are today in the future. But here and now, I can really tap into that energy and focus here, shedding and releasing with gratitude, with love, the versions of me that went before. They all were necessary to bring me to this place. So this energy can come forward in this card, speaking to being fully present in the moment and living one day at a time. So as we move through this weekend, just allowing ourselves to be present, recognizing that only this moment counts and that I have whatever it takes to handle anything today, and let go of the need to look into the future or reflect on the past. Be present and notice what is going on right now. This very moment has the potential for you to create miracles in your life. So being here now. I love that. So I think some pretty powerful messages packed in that little fortune cookie. Just to kind of give us a little something as we move into the weekend and on to October. So I will definitely be in touch. I have all these lofty ideas of things I'd like to do, but at the same time, we do have a busy weekend with the kids and sports and activities and obligations. So for sure, I will be in here on Sunday, tapping in for our week ahead, pulling cards. I may or may not move that over to the October, since we're sort of in between worlds here as the weekend strikes. We'll be right in that precipice. It'll officially be October when I come on, so I'll probably kick it off over there, but I will let you know either way. And then I am trying to plan something for the live on the Majestic community group. I wanted to do something a little different, maybe switch it up for the end of the year, this last quarter. So again, all the best ideas churning around, but I haven't quite gotten there yet with the exact plans. So I will keep you in the know. But until then, I just wanted to pull a couple cards, bring through some messages, send you some full moon blessings, and let you know that I have a ton of ways that we can work together more comprehensively in the coming months here. If you're interested, again, I will put the link here, as well as the little flyer for October and the Empowerment Pack bundle if you're interested, because that will all be kicking off next week with the month ahead readings and into eclipse season. So thank you guys, sending you lots of love. Have a fantastic evening.